No, okay, so that's a good question. Let's go over this for a second. So what I mean by influence is, well, first let me explain what happens, okay? When you influence somebody, and especially we're talking about women here, when you learn how to influence, she'll become more attracted and more invested in you, okay? If you don't know how to influence her, what happens is you get labeled as boring. So you're just more of a boring guy, you're more forgettable, and she doesn't experience what is a wide variety of emotions, which we're going to get to that in a second. So you become labeled as boring, and therefore she doesn't feel the need to want to text you back, want to see you again, want to have sex with you, all those things. Because this is what you have to understand. Women, they're attracted when they are able to experience a variety of emotions, okay? Of emotions, not motions, emotions, okay? So women are attracted when they experience a variety of these emotions with you. Because women are more emotional, okay? So think of it this way. Women are more emotional, men are more logical, okay? So what this means is that she is going to experience a wide variety of emotions to the guy that she's attracted to. So if you can create that experience and you can create that influence, so to speak, then you're going to get her more attracted. So this is why, they say like the bad boys or the assholes or those guys always, get girls attracted to them. That's because when they're around that guy, she experiences a wide variety of emotions. Okay, she gets triggered in all different sorts of ways. It's exciting, it's adventurous. Maybe he's an asshole, so he treats her like shit, then she experiences that emotion, then she experiences happiness. Now, I'm not saying that you treat a girl like shit. Okay, that's not what I'm saying, but you still do have to play by the rules of attraction, and that means that you're going to have her experience this variety of emotions, okay? So how do you do this? Well, what you want to do is you want to create an unforgettable experience, okay? So think of it that way. You're creating an unforgettable experience. So what you're doing here is every time she's with you, every time she's texting you or being connected to you in some way, you're creating this variety of emotions, which influences her and then gets her to think, wow, I cannot wait to see that guy again. I want to see him again. I want to experience that again. Now, of course, she's not really saying that in her head. She doesn't really know what's going on. Okay, women don't really know how attraction works. Most people don't know how attraction works. Okay, no one, I studied it and I figured it out to be able to explain it to you. I didn't know either. So again, kind of going back here, circling back, you're creating an unforgettable experience. So what are the steps to doing that? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do that. So here's a couple of examples. When you go on a date, okay, when you go on a date with that girl, what happens is you can do that by you creating an experience that's going to get her emotions in different states. Okay, so for example, maybe you'll start the date off and you'll go grab a drink somewhere, right? So what happens? You go grab a drink somewhere, maybe it's dimly lit, maybe you're just in a place that's a little bit more chill. But then after that, you decide to go grab a couple of bites somewhere at a place that's a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more happening, a little bit more fun. Then maybe after that, you decide to go on a walk somewhere right from there, maybe, I don't know, somewhere scenic. So it's like she's getting all this different stimulation. And the thing is most people are going to experience fun and a variety of emotions this way. But when she is experiencing that with you, I'm sure it's a lot different than you experiencing it with her, right? It's like you probably don't need that. I bet you would just be good going on a date with her, having a drink, talking for a while, and then going back to your place and calling it a night, right? You don't need to be stimulated in that way. Yeah, it still might be more fun for you to do that, but you don't need that. Whereas her, of course, you don't have to do all these things, okay? People go on dates all the time that are just dinner dates or they're just drinks. But imagine if you could create an experience where she has an opportunity to become more attracted. Then you're gonna level up here, okay? So that's one way to do it. Here's another way. This is more on the kind of micro level, more on the verbal side and more in the actions in which you are doing, okay? So let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about this kind of idea of push-pull, or this idea of kind of tapping into that bad boy, right? So one thing the bad boy does is he does not overly validate her. And a lot of guys do that. They'll overly validate. they'll compliment her, they'll send flowers, they'll do all these chivalrous moves. And it's like, why? It's actually very manipulative to be doing it that way, because you're only clearly doing that so that she can like you. You're thinking in your head subconsciously, okay, you know what? If I say that I like her, or I say that she looks beautiful, or I say whatever is going to make her feel good, that means that she's going to like me. But that's not how that works, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to withhold validation. So when you go on this date, withhold validation. I'm not saying that you have to say mean things to her, but don't sit there saying nice things. That actually works against you. And then in that one circumstance where you slip up and you do say something of a compliment, it's actually going to mean so much more because you haven't done that yet. Okay, so the idea here, and here's a way to kind of balance it out and create this more unforgettable experience and this influence, is try not to give her any validation. And this is where guys usually say, "But I don't get it. How does she know that I like her?" Well, don't worry, because you're still going to lead the interaction. So in the TED system that I talk about, D stands for dominance, which means you're leading the interaction. So as long as you're leading the interaction, you're setting up the date, setting up the time to hang out, asking her out, asking her to hang out, going for the kiss, going for sex, bringing her back to your place. As long as you're doing that, that's enough. That's all you need to do to let her know that you're interested. She'll know off of that, but then we withhold the validation. So is that starting to make sense here? I know that it got a little deep and we got a little intense, but does that make sense? We're talking about, again, trying to influence her.